You brushed your teeth this morning without thinking. Foam, rinse, done. But in those 2 minutes, your gums absorbed more than mint and fluoride. Your mouth is a fast absorption pathway, allowing chemicals to enter your bloodstream directly. By now, your body is processing them. Many ingredients are legally allowed, but not always ideal long-term. Today, we explore 7 popular toothpaste brands and what is really happening behind the foam. Oral-B carries a clinical identity. It is associated with dentists, with professional care, with the idea that you are using something backed by science. That branding creates a sense of confidence. It feels like a step closer to what a professional would recommend. But inside many of its toothpaste formulations is a component that plays a very specific role in how the product feels during use. Sodium lauryl sulfate is a foaming agent. It creates that rich lather that people associate with cleanliness. The more it foams, the more it feels like it is working. What most people don't realize is that this foam is not directly responsible for cleaning your teeth. Its primary function is sensory. It spreads the product, lifts debris, and creates that familiar experience. But it also interacts with the soft tissue in your mouth. Sodium lauryl sulfate can disrupt the lipid layer that protects your oral tissue. That disruption increases permeability. In simple terms, it makes your gums more open to whatever else is present in the formula. This changes the dynamic of exposure. It is not just about what ingredients are in the toothpaste. It is about how easily those ingredients can move into your system. For some people, this manifests as irritation. For others, it goes unnoticed. But the effect on tissue permeability is consistent. The marketing promise is a deep, professional clean, something that feels thorough and effective. But the molecular reality is a formulation that enhances the penetration of its own ingredients. And when that happens twice a day, every day, the difference between surface contact and systemic exposure becomes more significant than most people realize. Meridol presents itself as the gentle solution, the brand you reach for when your gums feel irritated, when you notice bleeding, when something feels slightly off. It speaks the language of care and protection. It positions itself as the answer to sensitivity in your gums rather than your teeth. But the way it achieves that effect is where things become more complex. Many gum-focused formulations rely on antibacterial agents designed to reduce the bacterial load in the mouth. On the surface, that sounds like a clear benefit. Fewer bacteria should mean healthier gums, but your mouth is not meant to be sterile. It is a living ecosystem. Inside your oral microbiome, hundreds of bacterial species coexist in balance. Some contribute to inflammation, but others actively protect your gums, regulate pH levels, and help maintain the integrity of your enamel. When a toothpaste introduces broad-spectrum antibacterial activity, it does not selectively remove only the harmful organisms. It disrupts the entire system. What happens next is not immediate damage, but repeated imbalance. Each time you brush, the microbial environment is reset. Your body then has to rebuild that balance from scratch. For some people, this cycle becomes constant. The feeling of relief after brushing is real, but it is temporary. Underneath that relief is a system that never fully stabilizes. Over time, this can lead to increased sensitivity, not because the toothpaste is ineffective, but because the environment it creates requires continuous correction. Your gums are not just reacting to bacteria, they are reacting to fluctuation. The marketing promise is targeted gum care, a solution designed to soothe and protect. But the molecular reality is ongoing disruption in a system that depends on equilibrium. When equilibrium is replaced with repeated intervention, your body is always playing catch-up. Sensodyne is one of the most trusted names when it comes to sensitivity. It is often recommended, widely used, and immediately associated with relief. If you have ever felt that sharp, sudden pain when drinking something cold or hot, Sensodyne feels like the answer. In many cases, it delivers exactly what it promises. But the mechanism behind that relief is often misunderstood. Sensitivity in teeth usually comes from exposed dentition, the layer beneath enamel that contains microscopic channels leading to the nerve. When enamel wears down or gums recede, those channels become exposed. External stimuli reach the nerve more easily, and pain is the result. Sensodyne formulations frequently use compounds like potassium nitrate to interfere with this process. Instead of rebuilding the protective layer or reversing the exposure, these compounds work by altering how the nerve responds to stimulation. The signal is reduced or blocked, and the pain disappears. From a user perspective, that feels like healing. But structurally, the underlying issue may still be progressing. Enamel does not regrow. Gum recession does not reverse easily. So while the symptom is controlled, the cause can continue unnoticed. This creates a feedback loop. You feel better, so you keep using the product. Because you feel better, you assume the problem is being solved. Meanwhile, the structural vulnerability remains. The marketing promise is clear and compelling. Relief from sensitivity. Protection you can feel immediately. But the molecular reality is a form of signal management. The discomfort is reduced, but the biological condition that caused it may still be present. And when a product masks a signal your body is trying to send, it changes how you respond. Instead of addressing the root cause, you adapt to the absence of pain. Every day is the kind of toothpaste you pick up without thinking. It sits on the lower shelf, priced just low enough to feel like a smart decision. It promises the basics: clean teeth, fresh breath, no unnecessary extras. And that simplicity is exactly what makes it easy to trust. But simplicity in marketing does not always translate to simplicity in formulation. Store brand products like Everyday are built to compete on cost, not on innovation or ingredient refinement. That means manufacturers are incentivized to use the most economical raw materials available at scale. Abrasive agents, which are responsible for physically removing plaque and stains, are often less refined and more variable in particle size. On paper, they perform the same function. In reality, inconsistency in those particles can create uneven wear on enamel over time. Your enamel is not designed to regenerate. Every microscopic scratch, every layer gradually worn away, accumulates. You do not see it happening day to day. But over months and years, that wear changes the structure of your teeth. Sensitivity increases, protection decreases, and then there is the issue of formulation balance. Lower-cost toothpastes often simplify stabilizers, omit higher-grade buffering systems, and rely on basic preservation methods. That can lead to formulas that are technically effective but less harmonious with the natural environment of your mouth. The marketing promises straightforward value, a product that does what it needs to do without costing more than necessary. But the molecular reality is a formulation built on compromise, less refinement, less consistency, less long-term consideration. And when something is used twice a day, every day, those small compromises are no longer small. They compound. Blendamed focuses heavily on the idea of protection. It positions itself as a shield against the daily threats your teeth face: acid, sugar, bacteria, erosion. The message is clear: use this and you are defended. But protection in this context often comes from layered chemical systems designed to coat the surface of your teeth. These systems create a temporary barrier that reduces immediate exposure to harmful elements. In the short term, that can be beneficial. The complexity comes from what happens over time. Your teeth are not passive structures. They are part of a dynamic process called remineralization. Minerals are constantly being deposited and removed from the enamel surface depending on your diet, your saliva, and your overall oral environment. When a toothpaste introduces a coating system, it can interfere with that natural exchange. Instead of allowing your teeth to regulate themselves, it places a controlled layer on top. That layer may protect, but it also alters how your teeth interact with their environment. This creates a reliance. The protection is only present when the product is used consistently. Remove it, and your teeth are suddenly exposed again, sometimes more sensitively than before. The marketing promise is long-lasting defense, a barrier between you and damage. But the molecular reality is a shift from natural regulation to external control. And when control replaces balance, your system adapts. not to stability, but to dependency. Colgate is one of the most recognized brands in the world. It has been part of daily routines for generations. That familiarity creates trust. It feels safe because it has always been there. But longevity does not mean perfection. Many Colgate formulations, especially those focused on whitening, rely on a combination of abrasives and chemical agents to achieve visible results. Abrasives physically remove surface stains, and chemical agents break down discoloration. Together, they create the effect people want, a brighter, cleaner-looking smile. Used occasionally, this system works as intended. It removes buildup and restores appearance. But when used daily, the equation changes. Enamel is the hardest substance in the human body, but it is not indestructible. Repeated abrasion, even at low levels, gradually wears it down. This is not something you notice immediately. It happens slowly, layer by layer. As enamel thins, the underlying dentin becomes more visible. Ironically, this can make teeth appear less white over time. It can also increase sensitivity, making hot and cold stimuli more noticeable. The marketing promise is a brighter smile, a visible improvement you can see in the mirror. But the molecular reality is a gradual trade-off, immediate cosmetic gain in exchange for long-term structural wear. And once enamel is gone, it does not come back. The change is permanent. Marvis sits in a different category. It is not positioned as clinical or budget-friendly. It is positioned as an experience. The packaging is elegant. The flavors are unique. The entire product feels elevated. Using it feels intentional, like a small upgrade in your daily routine. But beneath that premium presentation is still a formulation designed to deliver performance. Strong flavors, long-lasting freshness, and a distinctive sensory profile all rely on carefully engineered compounds. Those intense flavors are not accidental. They are built to linger, to create a lasting impression, to differentiate the product from everything else on the shelf. And that lingering effect changes one important variable: time. The longer a compound remains active in your mouth, the longer it is in contact with your oral tissue. In a highly absorbent environment, contact time directly influences exposure. This is not about a single use. It is about repetition. Twice a day, right? I must say, every month. The marketing promise is a premium ritual, a refined, almost luxurious moment in your routine. But the molecular reality is extended exposure to a complex formulation designed for sensation as much as function. And when sensation becomes the priority, balance can become secondary. Not all toothpaste is created equal. Some formulas are designed to support your mouth's natural balance, working with your enamel, your gums, and your microbiome instead of overriding them. Others focus on performance, sensation, and short-term results, often at the expense of long-term stability. Now that you have seen what better options look like, it becomes easier to recognize the difference. Once you understand what supports your oral health, you also start to see what quietly works against it. Let's take a look at 3 toothpastes that are great to use. Elmex is widely recognized for its focus on strengthening enamel and preventing cavities through a science-based approach rather than relying on aggressive whitening or harsh abrasives. One of the key reasons it stands out is its use of amine fluoride, a form of fluoride that adheres effectively to the surface of teeth. This creates a protective layer that helps remineralize weakened enamel and defend against acid attacks from food and bacteria. Instead of simply cleaning the surface, Elmex works more proactively by supporting the natural repair process of your teeth. Another important factor is its relatively gentle formulation. Elmex toothpaste typically avoid overly abrasive particles, which means they clean without gradually wearing down enamel over time. This makes them especially suitable for long-term daily use, where maintaining structural integrity is more important than achieving quick cosmetic results. Elmex also tends to focus on targeted solutions, such as enamel protection or cavity prevention, rather than combining too many functions into one product. This reduces unnecessary additives and keeps the formulation more focused and efficient. Overall, Elmex is considered a strong option because it aligns closely with how the mouth naturally protects itself, supporting remineralization rather than overriding it. Zendium takes a different approach compared to many traditional toothpastes by focusing on the oral microbiome. Instead of trying to eliminate bacteria aggressively, it aims to support the natural balance of good bacteria in your mouth. This is important because your oral health depends not on removing all bacteria, but on maintaining a stable and healthy ecosystem. One of Zendium's defining characteristics is that it is typically free from sodium lauryl sulfate, the foaming agent commonly found in many toothpastes. Without this ingredient, Zendium is less likely to irritate the soft tissues of the mouth or disrupt the protective layer of the gums. This makes it a good choice for people who experience sensitivity or recurring mouth irritation. Zendium also includes enzymes and proteins that are similar to those naturally found in saliva. These components help boost the mouth's own defense system rather than replacing it. By working with the body instead of against it, the toothpaste supports long-term balance rather than short-term effects. Because of this approach, Zendium is often seen as a more biological, body-aligned option. It does not rely on strong chemical interventions, but instead enhances what your mouth is already designed to do naturally. Parodontax is primarily known for its focus on gum health, especially in preventing and reducing bleeding gums. Healthy gums are a critical foundation for overall oral health, and Parodontax targets this area more directly than many general-purpose toothpastes. Its formulations are designed to help remove plaque along the gum line, which is one of the main causes of inflammation and bleeding. By addressing plaque buildup effectively, it supports the healing and maintenance of gum tissue over time. This makes it particularly useful for people who are dealing with early signs of gum issues or who want to prevent them from developing further. Another reason Parodontax is considered a good option is its balanced approach to cleaning. While it is effective at targeting plaque, it generally avoids overly harsh abrasives that could damage enamel. This balance allows it to clean thoroughly without creating long-term wear on the teeth. Parodontax also often contains ingredients that help strengthen the connection between teeth and gums, supporting overall stability in the mouth. Rather than focusing only on cosmetic results like whitening, it prioritizes structural health. For people who want to focus on gum care as part of their daily routine, Parodontax offers a more targeted and supportive approach that aligns with maintaining long-term oral health. We looked at different toothpaste brands and what might be less ideal about certain formulas. In the end, it mainly comes down to what your teeth and mouth actually need, rather than just the name on the tube. What does not work well for one person can work perfectly fine for someone else. It is all about ingredients, sensitivity, and the results you personally experience. That way, you can make a choice that truly fits you and keep your oral care simple and effective. Did you find this video interesting? Do not forget to like and subscribe.